Alright guys, well it's finally spring here in Vermont, and looking at my SolarEdge monitoring the other day, I realized I had an optimizer that was out. So I had one panel that wasn't producing any power. I tried repairing, nothing. And so I got in touch with SolarEdge and they sent me a new optimizer. So today I'm going to show you how to replace it. So I just got this box from SolarEdge a couple days ago. And let's get her opened up and see what's in here. Look at that, brand new optimizer. So this matches the one I have up there, and we'll go get the panel taken off and replace it. Alright, so first things first, we got to turn off the inverter. You can see right here it says 41 of 41. I actually have 42 panels on this, so I tried repairing it and it just didn't find that optimizer at all. So we're going to turn this off. We'll just turn off the DC disconnect here. And it'll start dropping. Okay, so I'm just going to take this panel down and then we'll do some testing with it on the ground here. Alright, got the right tool. So now we'll disconnect the optimizer. Oh, got it. Sometimes these Amphenol H4 connectors, they don't like to come off sometimes. So there it is. Alright, so here's the old optimizer, and we're going to take this down and test it on the panel so we can show you what's going on with it here. Before we do that, let's put the new one on. Sticker off of this one, on that one. So I have an iron ridge system here. So these are the little wire clips that hold the wire on the rail. You can get more of them if you break them, or you can use zip ties. These are preferable because they last longer. All right, so first things first, we're going to test the panel voltage. Typically you want to have this aimed at the sun. I got a lot of reflection off the door here, so I'm sure it'll be fine, but I may have to turn it around. So 32 volts. Let's see what happens when I lift it up like that, and then we're at 34, which is about right. So open circuit voltage on this is 37.92. That's at standard test conditions, which is about 70 degrees Fahrenheit. And so we're measuring a little bit lower than that, but not much, and the panel's nice and warm, and it's facing backwards. So that's about what we think to see there. the next thing that SolarEdge requires that you do for replacing optimizers is you hook up, oh, not that way, you hook up the panel to an optimizer, and then you're supposed to test the output leads here. And so what we're looking for is we're looking for safety voltage, and the safety voltage is 1 volt. Look at that, we are getting 1.01 volts. So in SolarEdge's eyes, they would say it's not an optimizer problem, it's something else that's wrong with it. In my experience, it's always an optimizer problem, 99.9% of the time, and SolarEdge is wrong. So if you ever get an optimizer that's out still putting out 1 volts like this one is, or 1 volt like this one is, you know, it's still probably an optimizer problem. So we're going to go ahead and replace this, and then we'll pair everything up and see if it works. Right. All right, well, let's get this panel put back on here. Let's go back downstairs and get this thing paired, and we'll see if it works. All right, turn the knob back on, and then I'm going to push and hold the green button down here. So with these older SolarEdge inverters, this one's about 6 years old. It's not the HD wave, doesn't have a, it's not the tiny one, doesn't have a, you know, screenless inverter here. You just push and hold the green button until it tells you to keep holding it for pairing. And then it'll pair. It usually takes, I don't know, 5 minutes or so for it to go through its process, and then, you know, it takes a little while to count up all the optimizers. So we'll check back in a few minutes here. If you have an HD wave inverter with a screen on it, you got to turn the little toggle switch. There's a little toggle switch off to the left. Turn that off, and then you push and hold the OK button on the screen until it starts pairing, and then you got to turn the switch back on. If you have an HD wave inverter that doesn't have a screen on it, I believe you have to use the Set app. And you scan the, there's a QR code on the side of it, a little bit bigger than this here. You scan that, and then it'll walk you through pairing it. Or I guess if you're a homeowner, it'll have a different app for that. Okay, all done pairing. You can see it'll start counting up the optimizers there, voltage going up. And we'll hear it click on. Fans sound terrible on this thing. So when you hear the relays clicking there, what it's actually doing is it's testing the grid isolation relay. So if every time it starts up, it checks to make sure that relay is working, That way, in the event of a power failure, it can disconnect from the grid. And if that relay fails, it throws an error code and you get a new inverter. So you can see it's counting up. We got 7 so far, and we'll catch back in another minute or 2 here. Alrighty, there we go, 42 of 42. So yeah, now I just need to go on to the website and switch this, the old optimizer out and put the new one in on the map so it shows up, and we'll be all set. Alright, well that's all for today, guys. Thanks for watching. I just wanted to, show you how really easy it is to replace these things. It's important you turn the power off before you do it. But otherwise, there's nothing that's too hard. I would definitely recommend having 2 people. It definitely helps, especially if you're not too comfortable on a roof. But otherwise, thanks for watching and have a nice day.